Alright, so for this video, we'll be checking out the Razer Ornata V3 X. It looks like a pretty cool keyboard. There's a couple of things on this that actually sold me on it. It says low profile keys, and that's actually one of the selling points for me. I like the lower keys. It's because it's a lot more like my laptop, and that's what I'm used to. It also has silent membrane switches, so if you're looking for mechanical, this one's not mechanical, this is membrane, but I like the idea that it's silent, or as silent as it probably can be. We'll find out. Now, another big selling point for this, for me, was cable routing options. And what that's going to do is, I'll show you in a little bit, it'll let you pick which side of the keyboard you have the cable sticking out of. It also says durable, spill-resistant design. We're not going to be testing that one. I'll take their word for it. It also comes with an ergonomic wrist rest. There's a quick look at the back of it. And now I think we should get this thing open. Now, let's see what we got in here. Oh wow, I kind of like the packaging, it's nice. Let's take the book out and let's see what's in here first. So this says maximize your device with Razer Synapse. Now I already have Synapse installed on my computer because I have a Razer mouse already. And it also mentions how to get support for the product. And then here it says what's inside. I'll let you get like a quick little look at what's going on here. A little bit hard to see, but it basically says what's inside using your Razer Ornata V3 X. Let's see what it says what's needed. PC with a free USB Type-A port. Well, I would imagine so. And Razer Synapse requirements. Windows 10 64-bit or higher, and internet connection or software installation. Let's just get to the keyboard. Okay, so usually the cable is usually behind these little cardboard things. All right. Oh, that's right. The wrist rest is under here. We'll check that out here in just a second. Now, I probably won't be able to use that for my setup because I just don't have a lot of room, but that is probably a handy thing to have. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this plastic off of here. Now, one thing I see a lot of people say is they don't like how big some keyboards are. This isn't too big. And another actual selling point for this is one of the reasons I got this is I need a number pad here. And I'm glad that this has it because if it didn't have it, I wouldn't have bought it. That's one of the main things I also needed. Feels nice. And here's a look at it. And on the back, it has a clip. Ooh, and it actually has two. Okay. Now, they don't make a whole huge difference, but there's a clip. Why do you keep calling them clips? It goes that way, and another one. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference. And now this was a huge deal for me. Right here, you can see how the cable comes up, and it lets you route it to either side of the keyboard, and I really appreciate that a lot. A lot of keyboards where the cable comes out here has that little nub thing that sticks out. Having that built down into here means that this can kind of bend off to the side, and it makes it so I actually have a little bit more room and I don't have to worry about it getting damaged so much because it's already built down inside there. It also has like a little protective thing here on the end of the USB. We'll also check this out real quick. This is pretty lightweight, and that's what that looks like. It has a little Razer symbol on there. That's kind of cool. It doesn't seem like it's magnetic or anything. It's just gonna rest up against there, but it has feet, like little pads on the bottom here. So when you have these sitting on your desk, they probably won't move around too much. So that's what you would get with that. All right, I'll hold it up here and we'll see what happens as soon as I plug it in. Well, it seems like it works. It lights up. Okay, so then basically instantly, the Razer app also came up and it wants me to update it. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I really like the colors. Let me turn my lights off real quick so you can see it better. Pretty cool, it looks pretty bright. Now I think this is all one thing. I don't think you can have individual spots of color. I believe this keyboard is all just one area. When you plug in your keyboard, Synapse should recognize it right away and it should pop up here. And if you click it, this will come up and you can click each individual key here and you can make the keys do a whole bunch of different things. You can also change some stuff down here where you can hit the function in the game mode button or you can turn it on in here. And that just basically, if you turn it on, it'll disable the Windows key and the menu key so it doesn't interrupt the game. And there's a couple other options here if you wanted to use those too. But if you do leave that off and you actually push those buttons on the keyboard, you'll see that it changes on there. So using the keyboard and the app kind of work together. Now, if you go to lighting, you have quick effects and advanced effects. So quick effects, what that does basically is it has a couple of like just default things here. Audio meter will change according to whatever you're listening to or watching or playing. All right, let's do it with the lights off here. We got the breathing set in the green and red, and you can see that it goes from green and then switches over to red, just like it's set to. We got spectrum cycling, and I think that basically just cycles through all the colors. As you can see here, it just kind of fades out and goes to the next. And static is just, well, it's a static color. And you can basically change it to any of these squares you see here. Now, if you click advanced effects and you go to Chroma Studio, you'll see that your keyboard will be here. My mouse is here because it's also a Razer mouse. If you click the keyboard, you'll see that it is a single zone keyboard. The whole thing lights up. You can't do the keys individually, but that's okay. It's not really a deal breaker for me, but that's something to be aware of. If you want to customize every key, you won't be able to do it with this one. They also have some preset things here too, which probably won't work out quite how you would wish they would, because if you set it to fire, you're not going to get like different colors going up the keyboard. It's just going to change to different colors, and we'll try it just to see. Let me make it so you can't see static. And if we go to fire and say we set the hot to red and cold to like a green, it's not gonna really do a whole lot, and it doesn't really even look like red and green, to be honest with you. All right, so I'm gonna try red and blue just to see what happens. That doesn't really look like red and blue to me. That looks purple. You can see, I think there's a little restriction on what's gonna happen here. So let's try maybe something different. Let's see what ripple would do with this one. So this one seems to react to me clicking the mouse. When I click, it seems to kind of do a little flash. That's kind of neat. What about when I press a key? Yes, it also works when I press a key. All right, and then we'll try one more before we move on. We'll go with wave. You can see that it just kind of does whatever it's doing, if you call that a wave or not. But I think you get the idea of the color limitations. It's all going to be the same thing no matter what you try to do. The keyboard actually gets pretty bright too. This is actually like one of the lower settings. If you didn't notice earlier, it's on like 5%. There are brightness buttons on here, so if you hit function and brightness down, it's off. And if we go up the whole way, yeah, you can see that that gets pretty bright. So limited lighting aside, I still think this is pretty cool, and you can do some cool things in Synapse here with the colors, even if it's just one solid thing. Also, one thing to be aware of, the little stand here, underneath here, there's two. There's that one, and then there's this one. That one's a little weak, but that could just be my keyboard. I noticed when you sit it down, if you kind of bump it, it will kind of collapse a little easier than the other ones. The other ones are pretty strong, and the two big ones, they're pretty strong too. So if you use it that way, it's not a big deal. Now that could just be something that only happened to mine. So now I think what we should do is I should type on this and maybe see what it sounds like, how loud it is, and just in general what it feels like to type on. All right, well, I'm just gonna kind of type random nothingness here, and at least you'll be able to see what it sounds like, or hear what it sounds like when someone types. All right, I'll hold this right up to the microphone so you can hear it too. And if, say, you're playing a game. Now the space bar does sound different. So say you're playing. Shift is also slightly different. See the difference? They're all, some of them are a little different, but that's not a bad thing. If anything, you can hear if you're pressing the right button or not, but you'll probably see it first. Now, I think there's only one thing left to do, and that's just to kind of test it in a game and see how it feels. Yo, why does your shirt keep changing? Oh, shit. So far, I'd say it feels pretty good. I like it. I don't think I'm having any major issues with it. Feels pretty intuitive. The keys don't seem to be getting in the way of my fingers. When I'm trying to get to a key, I'm not like hitting any of the keys on the way to the key. Muscle memory isn't too much different from where it was. I think you get the idea. So all in all, I'd say this is a pretty good keyboard, especially for the price. And I have tried keyboards that are priced similar. It's just, there's a couple things that are little quirks about them I didn't like. This so far, I'm really happy with. I like this. I mean, I'm not trying to shill it to you. I'm just relaying to you my personal experience with this. And so far, I'm pretty happy with it. More happy with it than I've been with any other ones I've tried so far. And I don't know if I'm going to try any more because I'll probably end up sticking with this one unless something goofy happens at some point. But for now, I think this will be the one that I go with. So hopefully this video helped you a little bit in making a decision, whether it's to get it or not to get it. Either way, hopefully I helped you, and if you did watch this video, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me, and maybe I'll see you around on the internet again someday. Later.